Good morning, guys. Got about 6 miles, about 6 miles to be back in Indiana. Back home again in Indiana. Yeah, the good old Hoosier state. I stayed, I think it's a 251. There's a Mr. Fuel, just, west of St. Louis. Pilot owns all the Mr. Fuels now, but anyway, it still says Mr. Fuel, but you walk in and everything's Pilot. But they still get decent food there, and I can't believe I got a parking spot. Probably only have about 10 to 15 parking spots, and I pulled in there after dark last night. There's a couple, I guess it was Saturday night then. If it had been during the week, I would have never got a spot there. Anyhow, that's where I stayed at. But, not much going on, just driving. So today's Sunday. I'm going to take this load home, and got a Christmas party at my mom's today. Well, not really a party, it's just her Christmas is today, so me and my family and my sister's family and then my got 3 stepbrothers, my stepdad. So that's what I'm doing today. So I got up early. I got up at, I just got my 10-hour break, so I think I got up at 3:45 Eastern time, so I could get back in time. We're gonna, what time is it? Yeah, I don't know. I might be able to make it to church. I haven't been able to go in a while. Been leaving on the weekends, so. Anyway, I was just thinking about, I thought I'd tell you a little story, and anybody that knows me, I'll tell this story a lot. There was a guy that I pulled a tanker with, and I met him. I started doing that in 2009, and it was like probably one of the first days I worked with this guy. He was an older guy, and he's probably back then he was in his he looked older than what he was. He was probably 53, 54 maybe at the time, I guess, about something like that, but he always had a big white beard. Just a real great big guy, and just happy all the time. And I really liked him. He just recently died this year. But he told me that he was the old West Coast driver, that these guys are few and far between anymore. You know the type I'm talking about. Old school guys. But he was telling me this story. He had a lot of good stories from back in the day, 70s, 80s, back when you could get away with a lot of stuff. Well, he said he was out in the desert somewhere out there in New Mexico, Arizona, something like that, going on, out there on his way to California. And he said he had been, just pushing really, really hard. And, sometimes everybody's been there. Like, anybody that's, how do I want to say this? Things have changed a lot in the last, especially 10 years. Things have changed a lot in the last 5 years. Well, now that, everybody has to be on e-log, you have to run legal. But back then, you just didn't, you did whatever you had to. And there's times, where you'd just be wrung out, and you'd just be almost delirious from just being so tired. You were awake, but there's times when I worked night shift where I'd be doing too much the day before, or it was a customer that I just went to all the time. I swear I was awake the whole time, but I pulled in the parking lot and didn't really remember how I got there. So any of you guys that's pushed real hard, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's what happened to this guy. He was out there in the middle of the desert. He said he he had stopped somewhere, probably used a bathroom or something, and got back in his truck. And when he looked in his mirror back there, all he saw was a guy's face looking around his sleeper, you know. So if you looked in your mirror and you looked down the side of your trailer, that's basically all you'd see is a guy's head if he was looking around your sleeper. So like, and then he looked again, it wasn't there. He goes, man, I'm seeing things. He said I wasn't there. So he pulled up next to another driver going down the road, and, you know, back then everybody ran CBs, which I've still got one, leave it on all the time, but you don't hear many people on it. Anyway, that's not the point. He passed a guy and he said, hey driver, he said, I'm having some light issues. He said, what's my pigtail look like? And a pigtail, for those of you who don't know, is the electric cord that hooks from your truck to your trailer. That's what feeds the electricity to your trailer. It's curled up so it'll stretch and snap back like a pig's tail. That's why they call it that. Oh, hold on a second. Interruption in the story. Back home again in Indiana. Back to my native land. Okay. So he passes this truck. Gets up beside him and he gets on the radio. He says, hey man. He said, hey driver. He goes, I'm having some light problems. He goes, what's my pigtail look like? He said, pigtail looks good, driver. He said, but he said, do you know you got a guy riding on your catwalk? So he was some guy that had hitched a ride and was just, you know, hitching a ride back there between the truck and trailer. He said he pulled over and started yelling. He said that guy just took off in the desert. Oh man, I was laughing so hard when you told me that story though. I couldn't imagine. But yeah, he was a good storyteller, and I think about him a lot. There when I was still pulling tanker, we'd talk about him a lot, all the funny stuff he used to do. He had a lot of good stories and everything. So it's just a little short video, and I thought it was a pretty sunset. So, or not sunset. Well, I've been up too long, haven't I? Sunrise, even pretty sunrise here in the Great Midwest. So we'll talk to you later.